Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. So today's video is going to be a Q&A, or actually it'll be me answering the Q's with the A's. So this is just a thing that I wanted to do for a while since a lot of people had questions about me, about the channel, about lightsabers, all that. So that's what we're going to do today. So for the first question, it was from Dennis or Veason, and it was about my personal life interests, and it is, who got you into Star Wars and how did you get into saber collecting? So I got into Star Wars from family, obviously, seeing the movies, all that kind of stuff. How did I get into saber collecting? I actually saw Darth Koopa's video about his Saber Trio Reaver back in, I believe, December of 2019 is when I first saw the video. And since then, I started looking into sabers and saber companies and all that kind of stuff, and obviously Saber Trio. So that's how I got into saber collecting. And as part of this Q&A, I asked, just for fun, which is your favorite Star Wars movie? And his was The Empire Strikes Back. So the next question is from Brendan. How did you start your channel and what you do as in keeping it going? So I started my channel on June 28th of this year, 2020, and I started it with a video about my Saber Trio Vectra, just showing off some of the fonts that I had on there. I thought it would get, maybe 100 views or so, something like that, maybe a couple dozen views. Maybe people asking, where'd you get that saber from? That's cool. And I would show them where I got it from and all that kind of stuff. And here I am now. The video's got 340,000 views or something crazy like that. And I started doing more videos, started helping people out, all that kind of stuff. And it's been a journey and it's been really cool. What do I do as keeping it going? I got to come up with new ideas. I don't want to just be the guy who just shows off his saber, just swings around the saber. I want to have actual content and actual help. And I want to be sort of like a one-stop shop for lightsaber questions. So that's just, how do I keep it going? I just try to come up with new ideas, new videos I can do, new sabers I can get to review, all that kind of stuff. And his favorite movie was Attack of the Clones. That's a rare one. That's one that you typically don't get a whole lot. People saying that episode 2, Attack of the Clones is one of their favorites, but that's a really good answer right there. Next up is from Carson. It's about my personal life and interests, asking, what are you majoring in? I'm actually majoring in kinesiology, which is the study of human movement. I am doing that so that I can get a bachelor's degree in science and then move on to physical therapy school, graduate school, and become a doctor of physical therapy. And his favorite movie was episode 4, A New Hope. Great answer. Next up is from Hunter, and it's about lightsabers. What is your most favorite lightsaber pike effect or sound font? That's a good question. I really don't know too much about lightsaber pikes at all, to be honest with you. I will tell you that my favorite sound font currently, and I think I had another question on here about what's my favorite sound font. Yeah, right here, Javen. What's your favorite sound font? Currently, my favorite sound font is a collaboration between Kyberphonic and K-Sith. It's called The Second. I've shown it a couple of times on this channel, talked about it. It's a second sister sound font from Jedi Fallen Order. It captures what you hear in the game and what you see in the game perfectly. And that's one of those sound fonts that first time you hear it, you just can't get enough of it. And every time I turn on my Saber, I have to go to that sound font and listen to it. It's just so good. And Hunter's favorite Star Wars movie, Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back. Next is Ian, or Ian, I think that's Ian, I'm not sure. Number 1, who is your favorite Sith and why, canon or legends, and what unique lightsaber style is your favorite and why? And I think he said something like curved, hilt, saber staff, crossguard, etc. So I'll answer the first one. Who's your favorite Sith and why? So my favorite Sith is actually Darth Maul. I don't go too deep into like legends and all that kind of stuff. I haven't read a whole lot of that, so I don't know too much about that, but Darth Maul is actually my favorite. When you see what he looks like and when you see how he acts, his aggression, I feel like that perfectly encapsulates what a Sith is and what George Lucas intended a Sith to be when he first wrote the story for Star Wars and started writing stuff about Star Wars. And I felt like Darth Maul perfectly captured that. And the next question, what unique lightsaber style is your favorite and why? Curved hilt, saber staff, crossguard, etc. I think it's actually curved hilt because of Count Dooku's hilt. His hilt is one of my favorite hilts in all of Star Wars, that curved hilt design. There aren't too many curved hilt designs out there, but I believe that his is one of the coolest I've seen. The saber staff, the double-bladed saber, that's all cool. It's pretty rare in Star Wars canon, but I just find that the curved hilt looks the best in my opinion. And his favorite Star Wars movie was Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, and that's very fitting that he mentions the favorite Sith. Mine is Darth Maul, who was in The Phantom Menace. Next up is Javen. He asked, what is your favorite sound font? Like I said, it is The Second by K-Sith and Kyberphonic. You can find it on Kyberphonic's website. It is a second sister sound font. His favorite movie, Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Next up is Dr. Joker Gaming, and he asks, what and when did you get your first lightsaber? So my first lightsaber, I got it in June of 2020, and that is my Saber Vectra. I had ordered it before, but shipping got kind of messy and production got kind of messy with Saber because of the current world events and all that. So it took a little bit while longer than what they typically take, but that's fine. It is my Saber Vectra. It's a NeoPixel saber. I've shown it many times on my channel. This is it right here. As you can see, it is the Dark Edition NeoPixel Dark Edition cover tech wheel, the black switch. I just love this thing. This thing is so sleek. Perfect. And his favorite movie was Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Next up is Noah, and he asked, to be honest, I just want to fill out the survey at the bottom. Your channel rocks. Keep it up. Thank you, man. And his answer to the survey at the bottom, which was, what is your favorite Star Wars movie, was Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Next is Mr. Breakfast, and he asked, how many lightsabers do you have in your collection? So at the time of filming this, I have 5 lightsabers currently with me. I have one that's actually not here right now because it's being worked on for something. It's going to have some work done to it. You'll see what I mean soon about that. And then I have one that was on pre-order that's coming in January or so. So I actually have 7. I bought 7, but I only have 5 here with me. I have another one being worked on, and then I have another one that's on pre-order. So in terms of chronological order, when I got them, it was the Saber Vectra, the LS Stunt V2 from Corbanth, Luke Skywalker Return of the Jedi, weathered version, Pak Store Shiva. It's a stunt saber, very basic stunt saber. Crimson Dawn Shrike. Got this out of a tier 3 mystery box. And then I have another one that I bought before this next one, which is the Pak Store Flight. This one isn't currently operational. I'm having some issues with the speaker, but Pak Store said they'll fix that. So this one isn't currently operational, but I did get this one as well. And then the other 2 are surprises that I haven't really talked about a whole lot about on this channel, and I'll show you those in new videos when they come in. And then his favorite movie was Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Next is Akshat. Sorry if I butchered your name. What is your most expensive saber? The most expensive installed saber I have is my Saber Vectra because it's a NeoPixel. After shipping, it was $555 US, but the sabers that I'm going to have in the future will probably be more expensive than those. And his favorite movie was Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. Next is Canyoneer. What is the absolute best company for an affordable smooth swing lightsaber? Now that's a hard question because it depends on what you mean by affordable. If your budget for affordable is, $250, then you can start getting into the Profi territory and some really basic Asteria and all that kind of stuff. If what you mean by affordable is less than $150, then there's not a whole lot of options besides like the Pak Store Flight. And then if you drop like a smooth swing chassis core into like a Crimson Dawn saber or any other LGT sabers, hilts. So the absolute best company, I can't really put that to a T because there is no one right answer. It can be multiple, depends on what the exact budget is. And his favorite movie was Revenge of the Sith. Next is 2 back-to-back from Tom Kenobi. What is the most skilled lightsaber trick you can perform? None of them. I want to learn the Obi-Wan. I've watched tutorials on how to do it. I've just never put in the time to actually do that. And then his favorite movie was Revenge of the Sith. And then another question, what is your favorite lightsaber color and who's your favorite saber wielder? My favorite lightsaber color is actually green, and my favorite saber wielder is Luke from Empire Strikes Back and from Return of the Jedi. Next is Thunder of Tesla. Other than helping people daily with lightsabers Star Wars, what do you enjoy most about your community and channels? In other words, what and how do you want your community to grow? It's actually a really good question. What I want eventually is to have a community of people that are well informed, and I want to have a community of people that are accepting of others, and to have a community of people who know what they're talking about, so when they get in a situation where someone doesn't know what they're talking about, they can help out. I don't want to be, the one person that people have to go to find lightsaber content or for information. I want every one of my viewers to be able to answer these questions. So, that quote, give a man a fish will feed for a day, teach a man to fish will feed for a lifetime or whatever. That's kind of what I'm going for here. I want to be able to teach everyone how to do certain things, what to know about certain things, so that eventually there will be a community of people who know what they're talking about. And, once that happens, that means that these people will expect more, and eventually some of their expectations may not meet what these saber companies are selling, and all that'll do will increase competition, and in turn competition breeds innovation. So that means all it'll do is move the lightsaber market and the lightsaber hobby forward into a better place. And his favorite movie is Revenge of the Sith. Next up is Nicholas. I know you said you were going to make a full video about it, but what are your issues with Saberforge? Love the videos and keep up the great work. So I don't think I said I was going to make a full video about it. I think I said I didn't want to make a full video about it, but my issues with Saberforge are very much the same as my issues with that other company that I've made a video about. The owner isn't the greatest guy in the world. There are issues with customer service. There are issues with, their team blocking customers on social media. There are issues with the Sabers themselves and the installs. There are a lot of similarities between Saberforge and that other company. And, admittedly, Saberforge does have higher quality products. They have NeoPixel, they have, a better soundboard, they have smooth swing in half of their Sabers. So there is better technology there. However, the installs are not up to par with some of the other companies that I recommend on this channel. And his favorite movie is A New Hope. So next up is Dara. Inspiration and how you got into lightsabers. So inspiration, I wouldn't really say there was inspiration. I'd say that how I got into lightsabers was through guys like Darth Koopa and Nerfer Customs and those kind of guys really know what they're talking about, and they show these sorts of things on YouTube, and that's really how I got into lightsabers. I've been interested in lightsabers like my whole life since I first saw one, but I started collecting those this year, and how I got into those, I watched Darth Koopa's video about a Saber Trio Reaver. I bought one, or I actually bought a Vectra because the Reavers weren't in stock, and then I went from there. And Dara's favorite movie is actually not a movie, but The Mandalorian. I threw that in there because Mando is so good. Next up is Javen again, and he asks, what is your favorite soundboard? My favorite soundboard is actually the Profi. The easiest one to use is probably the CFX. The easiest high-tier soundboard to use is probably the CFX because of the ease of customization, the ease of use, the accessibility. But my favorite soundboard has got to be the Profi, because there are just so many things you can do with it. And there are guys like Fet263. Go check out his YouTube channel. He has insane effects. He's one of the leading programmers for these Profi board effects, and they're just incredible. So my favorite board is actually the Profi. My easiest board to customize and use, and the highest tier easy one is got to be CFX though. And his favorite movie is Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Next is Sisuk, and he asked, what is your first Star Wars movie you watched? So the first scene in Star Wars that I ever watched was the Sarlacc pit scene with Luke in Return of the Jedi. However, the first full-length Star Wars movie that I watched was Phantom Menace, because I was a 98 baby, and around that time is when the prequel started coming out. So Phantom Menace was the first full-length Star Wars movie that I watched, and his favorite movie was Revenge of the Sith. Next up is from Harrison. When did you start saber collecting, and what was your first saber? I think someone asked this earlier. So I started saber collecting this year, and my first saber was the Saber Trio Vectra. And his favorite movie is not a movie, but The Mandalorian. Absolutely. Next up is a question from Hayden. Do you like Obi-Wan Kenobi? Come on, who doesn't? Obi-Wan's awesome. Obi-Wan's one of my top 3 favorite characters in Star Wars. And his favorite movie is Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. Okay, so next up is a question from Elijah. Yes, have you heard of Spectrum Sabers? They're a newer company, and they have a deal if you use code, no, not a plug. That's just curious if it is good or not. Big fan, by the way. Also, do you know what Star Wars Theory is? If so, what's your opinion of them? So Spectrum Sabers, I heard about it. I know that they're a newer company. They look to be like an LGT reseller. Not 100% sure, but it looks just like LGT Sabers. So I'm not exactly sure about the reliability or anything, because it's one of the first times I've heard about them. But maybe they can be good. I'm not 100% sure. Do you know what Star Wars Theory is? Yes, I know Star Wars Theory. He is I think he is the biggest Star Wars YouTuber in the world. And he has a ton of videos. I think he cranks out at least one video every day. It's insane. The dude's worth ethic is insane. Yes, I do know who he is. He commented on one of my videos, actually. Shout out to Star Wars Theory. And what's your opinion on him? I don't really talk about my opinions on people. I usually keep my opinions to Sabers and Saber companies. But yeah, my opinion of him is good. I like Star Wars Theory. He's supported this channel, so absolutely love him. And Elijah's favorite movie, Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Next is Winty or Winty. How many lightsabers do you have, and can you show us them? Also, what's your favorite Star Wars movie? Wow, someone finally asked me. So I already showed them a part in this video is the Saber Trio Vectra, LS Stunt V2, Box Door Shiva, Crimson Dawn Shrike, and the Box Door Flight. And then I have, like I said, I have 2 others that aren't here right now, but they are Very nice sabers. And my favorite Star Wars movie is actually Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith. And I see that you actually put Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith as well. It's just my favorite movie. I mean, that the way that that movie was made and how, formative that was as I was a young kid, all that kind of stuff. And the passion that Hayden Christensen played that role with, a lot of people criticize him for showing no passion and no emotion, but that's exactly how George Lucas wanted it. He played that role perfectly. If you don't believe me, I mean, go watch Star Wars Theory's video about it. He played that role perfectly, exactly how George Lucas wanted it. So that is my favorite movie. Next up is from Googly Moogly. How old were you when you saw your first Star Wars, a lightsaber, and how has it affected you since? Also, who's your favorite Star Wars character from the original trilogy? I was probably around 7 years old when I first saw Star Wars in any form and a lightsaber, and was Sarlacc Pit in Return of the Jedi, and it's affected me by making this channel. Also, who is your favorite Star Wars character from the original trilogy? It's got to be Luke in Return of the Jedi. That is the coolest Luke. He's probably one of the coolest characters in all of Star Wars in that movie. Him with all black clothes and the green lightsaber is just absolutely stunning. And your favorite movie, Revenge of the Sith. Next up is Ben, and he asks, who is your favorite non-Jedi/Sith Star Wars character? Jar Jar Binks. Duh. And your favorite movie is Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith as well. So that about wraps it up for this video. I will do a Q&A in the future as well, just to get, some fresh questions and answers on this channel. So thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, please subscribe, and may the Force be with you.